La 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 la. Hands up, Zagamuffin cowboys coming. Hands up, Zagamuffin cowboys coming. Hands up, hold down, grab your partner, swing 'em round. Hide all your women, I'm coming to town. Hey, what the hell was that? Hey guys, Martin here, LittleKuriboh, also known as... No, that's it, isn't it? I don't know of any other aliases. I guess I went by Lokdog back in the day. If you want to do like a deep dive into the cringe that was Martin Billany in the early 2000s / late 90s, don't do it. I'm saving you some trouble. Yes, it's me, LittleKuriboh, back from my vacation at the hospital. My several vacations to the hospital. I was in the hospital. Have I mentioned that? In case you didn't know about that and you want more information about where the hell I've been for the last 4 or 5 months, check out the previous video on my channel, which is all about my health and what's going on with me and, yeah, where things are at. But if you don't care about any of that, stick with this video because it has absolutely nothing to do with me. It's all about Jaden Yuki and his pals. And I can assure you, they never have to go to the hospital just because there are no medical facilities on Academy Island. Odds are the kids will just go missing long before they develop any kind of physical injury. So what's the point? They don't need it. But yes, if you've never watched these videos before, LittleKuriboh Watches YGO GX is a series of videos where I watch chronologically, individually, every episode of the YGO GX dub, all the way through, all the way leading up to the end. I will eventually have watched the entirety of YGO GX, and then I vomit my reaction at you. And this isn't a show where I'm bashing YGO GX, and it's not really a show where I'm like praising YGO GX either. I'm just trying to have a fun time watching it with you guys. So that's kind of the goal here, is I just want to watch it alongside you guys. And if you guys aren't watching and you're just watching for my reactions, that's cool too, but give the show a chance. It actually, it is worth watching. If you've never chilled out with the crew in the schoolyard and you've never found trouble after having not looked very hard, then you should watch the show because it'll blow your mind. A whole new experience waits for you. But without further ado, I do want to jump right into episode 29 of YGO GX because obviously there has been a bit of a break between episodes. So to recap, the totes not suspicious Professor Banner just took Jaden and his chums on a field trip which took them into another dimension. A dimension not of sight or sound, but of card games. Actually, it turns out it's like the Duel Spirit world. What's going on? Like, basically, duel monsters live there as actual people and as actual duel monsters, because when they had a duel, they were summoning the guys that were there, so they must live some sort of weird double life. They don't know if they're going to wake up one morning and have a regular life and a regular job, or if they're just going to be summoned straight to the duel field and be sacrificed in order to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. They just don't know. It's a bit of a coin toss. That's life as a duel monster, though. But more importantly than the civilization of duel spirits that live in an alternate dimension that proves that science is wrong about a great many things, Jaden won a card game, and by winning the card game, Jaden earned half of a magical medallion, an ancient artifact that will likely lead Jaden down the path to several mysteries, which he will gradually uncover as the seasons progress. Or they'll just reveal where the other half of the medallion is in the next episode. Remember in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters where they were able to extend the mystery of the Pharaoh's real name for like 5 years? If they did it like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, it would be like, oh man, what's the Pharaoh's real name? Next episode, it's Gary. I'm not saying that his real name is Gary, that's not a spoiler for those of you who don't know, but it'd be great if it was. But anyway, yeah, that's where we're at in regards to the deep plot of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So let's get right on to episode 29, which, depending on whether you believe Yu-Gi-Oh.com or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan Wiki, is called Doomsday Duel Part 1 or Doomsday Day Part 1. I personally really like Doomsday Day. I can't wait to celebrate my birthday day on Doomsday Day. I hear this year it falls on a Friday day. So Doomsday Day Part 1 begins with an orangey reddish moon poking its head through the clouds. It's that blood moon from Breath of the Wild. That means that all the duel monsters are going to get released from the GY. Then inside a massive cavern somewhere, we see a group of shadowy figures congregating. One of them speaks and he sounds rather like a really bad Alan Rickman impression. Or a really good impression of Eddie Redmayne from Jupiter Ascending.
Our enemies have been tested. Our allies are in place. The hour is upon us.
They look like the cast of Persona 5, a poorly coordinated boy band, and Yami Pharaoh the cat. Brah! I may or may not be evil. It's hard to tell because I am a cat, and we are naturally evil. It's hard to say if I'm more or less evil than usual. Brah! Their leader says it's time to cover the world in shadow, and he asks who will lead us into battle. And definitely not Alexis's brother says,
I'll be the first to go, Master.
Night Shroud, so be it.
I will not fail.
Alexis's brother, Night Shroud, steps out into the light, and we see that he has some of that long, luscious anime boy mullet hair that we love. I can't stand it. And he's wearing a mask with a jewel set into the brow. Looks rather like a flamboyant Batman. Alexis's Night Shroud is deathly serious.
Academy Island's prize will be ours.
Man, when it comes to egg witches, these guys don't fuck around. And then we get that classic banger Yu-Gi-Oh! GX's opening theme. But it should be noted that there is now a subtitle underneath the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX title logo. Yeah, it turns out this little sub-story within Season 1 is called Rise of the Sacred Beasts. Those sacred beasts better have some sacred butts. At Duel Academy, Chancellor Shepard is looking out of his unusually large window at the storm that is now kicking up. And then he gasps as he sees the silhouette of a man flying by on a hang glider.
And so, it begins. The fight. The war.
What, is some bloke going hang gliding in poor weather conditions the signal for Duel Academy to declare war on people? Because it would be really unfortunate if it was just happenstance and some guy was just out there hang gliding on a rainy night because he's an idiot. No, it turns out that idiot is Alexis Night Shroud, who is hang gliding around the side of the volcano and then coming down to land. Night Shroud detaches himself from the hang glider and then tosses it behind him, whereupon it bursts into flame? What? Surely that's a little bit of a design flaw. What if I wanted to just go hang gliding across the Scandinavian fjords and on like a sightseeing trip and suddenly flames everywhere? Night Shroud chuckles to himself, even though we know full well that he just got all his bottom hair singed off. And then we see that he has the other half of the magic medallion that Jaden won from another dimension because he is special main character boy. Over at the Slifer Red Dome, we see lightning striking overhead. I can only assume that Chumley's trying to create some sort of Frankenstein monster out of grilled cheeses. Jaden is fast asleep in bed, and unbeknownst to him, his half of the medallion is glowing. Cyrus is being kept awake by the lightning, and he's hiding under his covers, presumably because he's afraid the lightning will make fun of his shitty gyroid monsters. The next day, Professor Banner is teaching class. Jaden finally wakes up in the middle of this class, and we see he's wearing a mask that has a cartoony face licking its lips with two giant dead black eyes on it. Jaden says it's time to get up, and Cyrus says, oh, for class? And Jaden says, no, silly, for lunch. And then he whips out a bento box, or as Jaden would call it,
whatever it is I'm holding?
Banner says that Jaden's lunch will have to wait because Chancellor Shepard wants a word with him. And knowing the way that Shepard talks, it's likely going to be a loud and boisterous word. Chumley leans forward and tells Jaden that he'll watch his lunch while he's gone, especially if there's some grilled cheese in there. Yeah, I'm sure Jaden was going to eat grilled cheese with those chopsticks that he's holding. Cyrus wonders what Jaden did wrong in order for Shepard to call him to his office. And Jaden says maybe it's something good, like an award. Yes, you've won the award for most unnecessary uses of a catchphrase in a shonen anime. Second prize went to Naruto. I know, I couldn't believe it either. Chaz Princeton, having learned absolutely nothing from his recent 4-episode venture over to North Academy, stands up in the middle of class and screams at Jaden about how it's never good news when Shepard calls you to his office. Professor Banner then points out that Chaz has also been invited to Chancellor Shepard's office. along with 2 others. Why'd you single out Jaden then? Oh, I guess because he was sleeping. And Banner calls out the names of Bastion and Alexis. Jaden lifts his mask up and says, this doesn't sound good. It's gonna sound even worse when you got Bastion hovering around you going, the whole time. In the halls of Duel Academy, Professor Banner is leading the 4 students to Chancellor Shepard's office, and we see that Professor Banner is carrying Pharaoh the cat at his midsection as they walk. Rah! I find this very degrading. Not because of the way you're carrying me. I was supposed to be teaching that class back there, and you didn't give me a chance. Let me go back there and teach those students a thing or two about alchemy. They need to know what happens when you combine a hairball with another hairball. You get a really big hairball. Brah. And that's alchemy. Pharaoh the Cat is usually the substitute teacher for Professor Banner. That is canon. And then the group encounters Crowler and Zane coming the other way. Crowler is very impressed by the assortment of students that Professor Banner has rounded up. And then he notices Jaden and he says,
Uh-oh! Which one of these is not like the other?
It's ironic that he's quoting Sesame Street there because Jaden is a bit of a muppet. The group of Crowler, Zane, Banner, Bastion, Alexis, Jaden, Chaz, and Pharaoh the Cat, the Gimli of this fellowship, stand across from Chancellor Shepard, and the scene begins with Jaden saying,
3 sacred what cards?
Beasts.
Oh, you can totally see how Jaden would blank on the most glaring word in that sentence. You got 3, you got sacred, but beasts? That's difficult. Chancellor Shepard explains that the 3 sacred beasts contained such colossal power that they had to be hidden at Duel Academy. Oh, you mean the school that can't even keep its bloody sandwiches safe, and that could be at any moment completely taken over by a small child who is clearly on drugs? Chancellor Shepard explains that the sacred beasts were buried underneath Duel Academy. And we see the underground resting place of these 3 sacred cards, which looks to be some sort of tomb. Shepard explains that Duel Academy was built, in part, to protect these sacred cards. But not your own bloody students, apparently. Shepard says that legend has it if these cards ever see the light of day, terrible things will happen. And he goes on to explain,
Buildings will crumble, light will fade, souls will fall, our world will be no more.
No more?
Oh, Bastion's only worried about it because if the world is no more, then what's he gonna write equations on? Buildings crumble? Oh, I can't write equations on anything. Shepard continues and says that's why you 7 are here, to protect these cards from the wicked ones. Yes, nothing makes me more concerned about the safety of the fabric of existence than something that sounds like it was taken straight out of a nursery rhyme. The wicked ones. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Then the wicked ones showed up and challenged her to a card game and she was f***ed. Zane wisely asks, what the hell are the wicked ones?
7 duelists known as the Shadow Riders who covet these cards.
Wait, if they're called Shadow Riders, which is a much cooler name by the way, why are you calling them the wicked ones? Shepard explains that in order to protect the sacred beasts, they must first protect the 7 spirit gates. You see, in order to get to the sacred beast cards, you must first unlock each of the 7 spirit gates. And to unlock the 7 spirit gates, you must first collect each of the 7 spirit keys. And before Bastion can extrapolate all of that exposition into some sort of convoluted equation, Chancellor Shepard slams a wallet onto the table and shows them the 7 spirit keys. And he tells them that they each get 1 to guard. Bastion poshly realizes that if they're each carrying a key to a spirit gate, that would make them a target. And Shepard admits that yeah, if they're carrying the keys around, then they might be pursued by a shadowy group of dangerous people who fly around on exploding hang gliders. Chaz takes task with what Shepard is saying.
Seek us out? You mean take us out?
Only in a duel.
Only a duel? Take that back, Chancellor Shepard. The idea of card games being integral to a plot point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Shocks everyone, and there is a series of epic split screens that end with Pharaoh the Cat. Rah! There are a large number of people on the screen right now, and none of them are scritching this one particular part of my head. Chancellor Shepard explains that fortunately for them, the keys can't just be taken. An ancient edict has declared that the keys must be won in a card game. And so he's called on the school's 7 best to guard the keys and fight the good fight. Why not just put them in a safe? Oh, you know, anything else. Chancellor Shepard then corrects himself.
And so, I've called on our school's 7 best to take up this challenge and fight the good fight. Well, 5 best really, but I needed 7, so, you know.
You have an entire school full of card game players, and you can only find 5 good ones. You're having a laugh. Shepard offers them the chance to back out, since it is a super dangerous mission that could end up with them losing their lives, and he hasn't even talked to their parents about it at all. Shepard then shows off to everyone his exclusive Sacred Beast-themed Nintendo DS. Oh wait, those are the keys. Each member of the Fellowship of the Card Games takes their own key, and when Crowler takes his, he says,
How could I refuse? I mean, our very world is at stake. Our way of life, the future of the school, and if I said no, I wouldn't get this very posh piece of jewelry.
You can't tell, but you know that Crowler was staring right at Bastion when he emphasized very posh. Professor Banner goes last, and when he takes his key, Pharaoh the cat tries to grab at it with his paws. Brah, let me have the magical item. I bet it's got catnip in it, and if it does not, then I will be very upset about that. Brah. Jaden suggests that the best duelist should go first, and that would be him. And Crowler is upset at this and says, no, I should be first. Guys, it's not like the Shadow Riders are just lined up outside waiting for whoever calls dibs. Although considering the way this is playing out, it wouldn't surprise me if they were. Chancellor Shepard lays down the law.
This isn't some tournament where we choose who goes first. This is war. You can be attacked by your enemy at any time, at any place.
Yes, this isn't like normal Academy Island life. You can be attacked at any time, anywhere. So just like normal Academy Island life, really. Back at the Slifer dorm, Jaden is explaining the situation to Cyrus and Chumley, and Cyrus asks if Jaden's scared.
Aren't you scared? No joke. Creepy shadow guys looking to beat you so they can destroy the entire world? I mean, that's pretty intense.
And speaking of intense, the series of heart attacks that Chumley experienced while Jaden was telling his story. Jaden says it wasn't just scary, it was also exhausting, and he goes to hit the hay. Later, a bright tango orange moon hangs in the sky as Alexis makes her way across the Duel Academy grounds in the dead of night. Why is she walking around at night when she is a target for the Shadow Riders? I don't know. Presumably to go buy even more supportive wiring for her bra that keeps exploding at embarrassing moments. Alexis thinks to herself that if the Shadow Riders are really choosing who they'll duel, they'll probably go after whoever is the weakest first. And with that Slifer red jacket, it's gotta be Jaden. Ah yes, because after all of this planning and teasing and testing that the Shadow Riders have been doing, they're gonna base their entire operation on their opponent's choice of overcoat. I guess she's going to the Slifer Red dorm to warn Jaden about this? Jaden, wake up! Did you know that you're wearing a red jacket? The solution is clearly to go to school butt naked. And we see Alexis's Night Shroud watching from the tree line with glowy mask eyes. The Slifer shits are fast asleep when a blinding white light appears at the window. And YGO has seen enough X-Files episodes to know where this is going.
Whoa, Kuriboh. Can you keep it down?
You don't have to take that from him, YGO. You can make as much noise as you like. Shout to the mountaintops. Scream to the heavens. Make as much—
Whoa, Kuriboh. Can you keep it down?
Fine. Jaden gets up and then sees the white light that is now emanating from the ceiling and filling the room. He tries desperately to wake Cyrus and Chumley, who I'm sure would just be so much help in this situation. Also, always remember to employ the Jaden Yuki method of waking people, which is to grab the softest part of their belly and shake it lightly. Alexis sees the light pouring out of Jaden's dorm room, and she doesn't make the natural assumption that it's probably Chumley up having a midnight feast half naked, so that all the light reflects off of his grilled cheese drizzled torso. You enjoy these videos. Alexis rushes inside and gets about 2 steps in before the white light teleports both her and Jaden elsewhere. It turns out they got teleported inside the volcano. Wait, what? Inside the volcano? They're inside the—
Whoa, Kuriboh. Can you keep it down?
Fine. Jaden crawls to the edge of the saucer of light that is keeping both he and Alexis afloat inside the volcano, and he says they must be in some sort of crazy dream. Then a giant flaming dragon head bursts forth from the lava, and Alexis comments that it's more like a nightmare. And as the dragon head descends upon them, we hear Night Shroud's voice say, "It's neither." So what, it's like a daydream or a night terror or something? The dragon head explodes onto the field of light, and Night Shroud emerges in silhouette, laughing. And the laughter is meant to sound evil and maniacal, but it sounds more like a teenager who just watched the Baby Panda Sneezes video. Jaden says,
What's going on? You mean you don't know? Call me a slow learner.
well, that's generous. Night Shroud says to call him Night Shroud, and Jaden is understandably unimpressed, because how could you not be? Night Shroud says that he'll be taking that key from around Jaden's neck, and we see that they're standing on a circular platform of light that is elevated a fair ways above the very clearly active volcano's lava pit. Jaden says, wow, you guys don't waste much time, do you? They've literally been standing around doing nothing in a shitty cave just waiting for you to prove yourself as a duelist. But sure, they don't waste any time. Night Shroud notices Jaden's medallion piece.
Nice medallion. The Gravekeeper must be getting sloppy.
Yes, he must be getting sloppy. Good point, Night Shroud. Night Shroud continues to be super threatening.
Oh, and just to make sure of that, I brought friends.
What's that mean?
Okay, is anyone else not at all surprised that Jaden doesn't know what friends are? Oh, and it turns out that Cyrus and Chumley were brought along for the ride, as they're stuck inside some sort of ethereal dome far below Jaden and right above the lava. Night Shroud gleefully gloats about this.
Looks like they're in hot water. Or maybe I should say hot molten lava. But then, such is the nature of a shadow game, Kiki.
I always knew that the floor is lava was a shadow game. Jaden insists that Night Shroud let his friends go so they can have this duel one-on-one. And Night Shroud refuses, saying that they're here to ensure a speedy duel. Speedy duel. That's a good one, Alexis's brother. Night Shroud then holds up a trading card that has no image on it. Blasphemy! Evil! It's not
Whoa, Kuriboh. Can you keep it down?
Fine. It turns out Jaden's soul is going to be sealed inside that card when he loses. And of course, if Night Shroud loses, his soul gets sealed in the card instead. And Night Shroud adds,
But hey, let's be honest with ourselves. Me lose? No way.
I don't know. If your dual disc is designed anything like your hang glider was, there's a chance you might just explode into flames in the first turn, and you'll have to concede. Alexis tries to tell Jaden not to agree to play a card game with Night Shroud, but Jaden insists.
You can't agree to this.
Tell that to Cyrus and Chumley. They're about to become meatballs in a lava stew.
And of course, somehow the idea of becoming a meatball inside a lava stew just makes Chumley very happy. In a way, he would be living up to his father's legacy because I don't think there's anything spicier than lava stew. Jaden continues,
Besides, it's not like this is my first shadow game. I'm just hoping it doesn't hurt as bad as the others.
oh, the arrogance on this guy. Can you imagine if Yami Yugi was like, oh, NBD guys, I've played a bunch of these shadow game thingies. This is gonna be dead easy. Oh no, Bakura's in a coma now. Well, at least it was easy. Jaden then flashes back to the 2 previous shadow games that he's had against Jinzo and the Gravekeeper Chief, 2 extremely annoying characters. And it's a very dull series of flashbacks, but at least it does give us this footage of Jaden writhing around in pain again. So let's enjoy that. Ah, it's good stuff. Jaden agrees to the duel, and Cyrus and Chumley shout their support from below. And Chumley even says, let us know if there's anything we can do to help you. To which Jaden replies,
Yeah, thanks, chum. But I think I got all the help I need right here in my deck.
friends are no help. Rely on your cards. They are the only real friends you have. Jaden commands Night Shroud to both throw down and get their game on. Well, which is it? Get your game on or throw down? Come on,
Whoa, Kuriboh. Can you keep it down?
Fine. Night Shroud says, you want game? How about this? And he summons Troop Dragon in defense mode. It's a dragon with a sword and a shield. I'm not quite sure how that represents game, but I'm not the devilish rogue Night Shroud with his self-immolating hang glider technology. Jaden responds to this move by summoning his very own Dragon Slayer, elemental hero Wildheart. Kill a lot of dragons by hitting yourself in the face with a boomerang, have you? Jaden does a series of super over-the-top anime poses as he commands Wildheart to attack Night Shroud's monster, and Elemental Hero Wildheart successfully destroys the defense position monster that had about 800 defense points. Bravo, Wildheart, you're a big boy now. Troop Dragon's special ability allows Night Shroud to summon another Troop Dragon.
Hence the word troop.
What? And then Night Shroud plays his trap card Call of the Haunted, bringing back his other Troop Dragon. And then Night Shroud sacrifices both of them in order to summon...
Summon what?
Ah, boy.
He's gonna summon a boy, but Cyrus is already there. And as we know, he is boy. Look at him, he's boy. Night Shroud then announces it's the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Hey man, what the hell? Gimmick infringement here. And once more, a flaming dragon head emerges from the lava and flies about the dueling field, scaring Cyrus and Chumley. Chumley then gets the bright idea to try testing the resilience of the magical bubble that they are stuck inside. And we get a very, very upsetting shot of Chumley's feet as he gets up. I mean, deeply upsetting. He then tumbles over and almost falls out through the wall and into the lava before falling backwards onto his bum.
It's disappearing.
The flimsy piece of string that held the plot together? Yes, it is. The flaming dragon head explodes down onto the field of battle, revealing Red Eyes Black Dragon in all its glory. Night Shroud then commands Red Eyes to destroy Wildheart with Inferno Fire Blast. Wildheart then gets taken the out by an intense fire blast, which also knocks Jaden back several feet.
Hey, that hurt!
Didn't you just have a whole bit of dialogue with flashbacks about how it was going to hurt? Why is it suddenly a surprise? Night Shroud encourages Jaden to make his move, as Night Shroud has a Doomsday to start. I think you'll find it's a Doomsday Day. Jaden draws polymerization and uses it to fuse Clayman and Bastina into Rampart Blaster. And Jaden points out that even in defense mode, Rampart Blaster can still attack you with half their attack points. And when Jaden commands Rampart Blaster to attack, he tells her not to pull any firepower. But isn't that exactly what she's doing when you halve her attack? Rampart Blaster fires a series of rockets at their opponent's side of the field. Speaking of rockets, that bright red lipstick she's wearing looks fantastic. Night Shroud loses 1,000 life points from the attack, and Jaden points out that Rampart Blaster is still in defense mode, so in order to get to Jaden, you have to get through Rampart Blaster. Yes, that would be the very basic premise of defense, Jaden. Night Shroud, however, isn't so easily discouraged, and when he draws his next card, it gives him reason to celebrate. And he teases that this time Rampart Blaster can't protect him from Red Eyes' attack. And why?
Because this time his attack is an actual card!
He reveals that he's just pulled the spell card Inferno Fire Blast, which allows Red Eyes Black Dragon to attack without really attacking. Jaden is so stunned that he steps back and gasps, and then Alexis's face appears over his face in a split screen, and it kinda looks like they just wanted to draw Alexis's face on Jaden's body. Bit of an improvement, honestly. 2 more split screens later, and Chumley says that this is not licious. Add it to the list. Night Shroud brags that the Inferno Fire Blast spell card is just as powerful as Red Eyes Black Dragon's attack. The only difference being that it hits Jaden's life points directly, and Jaden's life points drop from 3,100 to 700. Night Shroud then summons Attachment Dragon. And this is what happens when you combine a dragon from the Game of Thrones franchise with the intense attachment that the Game of Thrones fandom had for the show. That dragon just sort of spends all its time criticizing itself for all its inconsistent behavior. Attachment Dragon then swoops across the field with its arms and wings outstretched, like it's carrying a few too many grocery bags back to the car. Attachment Dragon then teleports, which is a thing that dragons can do apparently, and snatches Rampart Blaster off the field and into the air, where it latches onto Rampart Blaster like a Cyberman on a Yamcha. Night Shroud says that Blaster has made a friend that forces it into attack mode. I actually have lots of friends that force me into attack mode. Cyrus and Chumley are so concerned with the state of events that they both lean against the wall of the bubble that they're in and of course almost fall out comically, leading to this hilarious moment where they are wavering back and forth between the inside and the outside of the bubble, balancing on their chests. It's weird. The holes in the walls of the bubble seem to grow and shift, and Chumley says,
So hot. Now I know what grilled cheese feels like.
unfortunately, that is the most existential Chumley will ever be in his entire life. Jaden struggles to stay upright, but then recovers and says it's his turn. And as he draws his next card dramatically, he adds in his mind,
From the rate that orb is disappearing, maybe my last chance to save my friends. And the world.
wait, how the f*** can you even really make out what's going on with the orb from where you are? It's like ages away. And with that, the episode comes to a dramatic conclusion. To be continued. So what did you think of Doomsday Day Part 1? I, for one, I know I gave it a lot of crap, but it's actually pretty exciting to see the plot really start to kick into gear with Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. All these characters that we've been following are finally uniting for a common goal against an evil that has been, festering in the background. So yeah, I'm hype. And we're finally seeing inside the volcano. They've teased that volcano. It's been there the whole show, and we're finally using it. In kind of a throwaway manner, but I'm still really excited that the volcano's getting involved. It's an involved Kano. Yeah, I really dug this episode. I thought this was one of the more exciting ones that I've seen yet, and it's thrilling to be off on an adventure with our friends, like an actual adventure, and not just getting lost in the woods because you got hungry. But hey, never mind what I thought. Let me know what you thought in the comments, or just yell at me. Just yell at me. Yell at me in the comments, please. Yell directly at me about whatever. About Pharaoh the cat, how he needs more screen time. Yell at me about how it took me way too long to get this episode out, and it did, you're right. Just yell at me. Because, yelling is fun. Before I sign off, I would be remiss if I didn't give a whopping great volcano-sized shout-out to all of our Patreon pledges. I'm listing their names across the bottom. I look like I'm stroking them right now. I could be stroking them. I'm not quite sure. Well, either way, their names are appearing at the bottom of the screen. The screen? I'm doing great. I'm having a great time. But there they are. Thank you so much, all of you, for real. I'm not going to botch my thank you to you guys. Thank you so much. You do deserve a stroke, actually. Let's give them a nice stroke. There you go. So yeah, big thanks to all of those guys. And until next time, I'm going to say, I'll catch you...
Whoa, Kuriboh. Can you keep it down?
Fine. Brah!